Time for a tool review. I'm Rick, and this shut the heck up, you stinking roosters. For your sanity. This is the shack. Hey everybody, welcome. Hey, if you're new to the channel, first time stopping by, thank you so much for taking some of your time out to view. Always ask that you would consider subscribing, and if you do, ring the ding that bell down there so you're notified when the videos do come out. Well, I guess the cat is out of the bag. As you can see here, I got a stack of items I picked up at Home Depot. So I guess it's time for another tool review. This is just a replacement. It is my DeWalt sander. I'm going to put that aside because that's not for this review. Whoa, 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 hold on there. I got an update already. Scratch that deal. I got something better. And here it is. And I'm explaining exactly what I mean. Now you know me, I'm really big on finding the best deal. Now that saw I got through Home Depot on a special. Prices on their website, it was $129, and they threw in a 4 amp hour battery. With a tool like that, I figured I would like to have at least 2 batteries, pretty good size, and I found a deal for $63, I think it was, for another charger and a 3 amp hour battery. So my total for that order was like $207. When I was looking online to verify the price before I did the video to make sure I gave you proper information in case prices have changed, I came across yet another deal. So I saw that and I said, that's a better deal. So I took all that back. It's gone. I returned it. This is what I got in its replacement. Same saw, but it came with two 5 amp hour batteries plus the bag to store it in for $7 more. So for $214, this was a better deal. Alright, let's start this review again. This should be the tool only. Is a DCS391. Instructions, always read through them. It's always good to know your tool. Nothing else in there. There's our tool, and here is the blade. If you see any dust on this, it's because I have used it, and we're going to go over this as if we have just pulled it out of the box. My first thoughts when I pulled it out, I actually kind of liked it. Not a bad looking tool. Doesn't look like it's overly cheap. It's got some decent quality build to it. One thing I like is how the tool feels in my hands. I've done other reviews, especially on a tool. The grip I did not like. It felt cheap. It didn't feel secure. This one, this is all rubbery right here. It's got a nice secure feel. If you're working in the sun, you know, like I do a lot of times out in the heat sweating, one thing I want to make sure is I don't want my tool to slip out of my hand. This has got a good feel. It's secure. It feels like even if my hands are wet or sweaty, it's not going to slip. I want to have a good secure feel with the tool in my hands. Base isn't bad. It's nice. We're going to talk about the bevel gauge here. You unloosen the bevel knob. In your plate now, you can angle for bevel cuts. One thing I want to do, just out of curiosity, how close these marks are actually to the blade. So later when I get the blade in, we're going to check the bevel just to see how close it is to the markings here, so at least I will know for this tool where I stand as the marks go. If I have to set the mark before or after the number, that way I know when it comes time to set this. I want to do 22.5, which I can already tell you right now, I wish they had something, maybe a deeper mark or something on some of the cuts that are more commonly used, like the 45, 22.5, little deeper cut or something, so it's more easily read and you can gauge it a little bit better. So we'll see just how much, if anything, these are off to be close to the degrees we're looking for. Tighten that up and it actually stays pretty secure. On the back here, this is another thing I kind of have a little annoyance about, I guess. This is your depth cut knob. You loosen this, lift up, and you can adjust your blade depth, how deep you want to cut. Pull it back and it locks. It's kind of handy where it's at. I like it there, it's not bad, but the problem is your indicator is right here, all the numbers. And on the bar right here, you can see down there, there is an arrow. The problem I have with this is for the first inch you can look on the bottom part here and kind of get it close, but the rest of it you have to go between the body and handle, you see right there, to see it. So it's kind of in a weird position, and my only thought would be to, you can see them back here, but this bar here, if it had something raised, tab or something on it that you could see right here, it'd be much easier just to loosen this, raise that, and wherever this, let's see where it's at, right there, I think that's close to an inch. You know, you have to look at it in an angle, you really can't see it, but there's a tab on this bar sticking out, it'd be easier to line up with these marks on the side here for the depth measurements, because that's kind of a pain to have to move this around, look at different angles, try to get the right depth. It'd be nice to have something like that, give you more of a reference, be easier to read. That's my only thing. Of course, this is where the battery goes, the trigger. You do have a safety feature here. This has to be pushed down in order to pull the trigger to engage the motor. This is not a bad design, it's actually pretty user friendly. It's either right-handed or left-handed, does not matter. So what I would do when I'm using, I am right-handed, I depress it with my thumb, pull the trigger, and that engages the motor. Once I engage the motor, I put my thumb down and get my grip and do my cut. As soon as you release the trigger, see that comes back up. Pops up. You cannot pull the trigger to engage the motor. Nice little safety feature. Oh. You can buy an accessory if you want an edge guide. I will go and look and see if I can find one. If I do, look in the description below. You can buy a edge guide for this. I'm sure it's an accessory, but it slides through right there. And on this side, on the top, there is no knob here to tighten the edge guide bar that slides in here. So you can slide that in, adjust it, and do your cut. Look in the description below again. If I can find them, I will let you know and put it in the description. With all that said, now we can install the blade. To install the blade, on this side, this is my second concern. Right here is the Allen wrench to loosen the bolt that holds the blade on. This I see down the road being problematic only because it will fall out and you can lose it. Set that in there, it sets, but it doesn't clamp in there. You know, you got to find that spot where it'll stay. It just won't stay in there. There we go. That little touch. So this isn't really designed to hold it, it's just more or less of a cushion. Now when I first took this out and I saw it like this, I thought, oh, that's pretty nice. I thought this was steel. It didn't come apart. I didn't really notice it was the Allen wrench. I thought, oh, I could put a carabiner on here. You know, walk up a ladder, you can just hook it to your tool belt and carry it up there instead of having to hold it with your hand. And then I looked at it, I go, well, wait a minute. Oh, this comes out. This, I think, would have been better if they had this right there, but in some way incorporated during the molding process, having a hole here where this would slide in and then clamp onto that, so that way it would never fall out. Just having this right here where it slides into, after time, it's going to come out. It's going to get loose. It's not going to stay there. You know, you pull it out. Sometimes I know some people will lift it out and they're going to spin this, you know, getting it out. That's going to round this out. When that happens, there won't be anything to hold us in there with any security at all. So I see that being a problem. So anyway, that's just my thought. I look at everything. This nut is not your righty-tighty, loosey-lefty. The blade goes in a clockwise rotation. So if you take the nut and go clockwise, it loosens. So it's lefty-tighty, righty-loosey. So I'm going to the right, it loosens. Take that off, take your clamp washer off, get rid of this piece of paper right there. It tells you to tight, you're going counterclockwise. To loosen, you're going clockwise. So now you take your safety guard, open it all the way, take your blade, slide it underneath, go underneath there, and drop it in. And again, pay attention to the arrows. Counterclockwise, you want the blade facing the counterclockwise. This is the correct position. Just keep the printing on the outside, nothing's on the back side. Slide it in, drop it over the spindle right there. Now we can drop the guard down. It'll protect the blade. We can set it down. Put our clamp washer on. Flat side goes against the blade. And then remember, like you're going to unloosen it, put the nut in, go counterclockwise like you're loosening it. Now right in here, you see right there, that is your lock lever. You push that down, I'll push it down with my thumb, spin this till it hits the lock position, up right there. I can get here where you see this now. Now, I have my thumb in there. It's hard to try to demonstrate this, but if you see, now it engages all the way down. It's locked. So I'll go push down, lock it. See, not moving. Snug it a little bit. Release. Back in action. Put our Allen wrench back in this temporary slot. Blade is on. We're ready to go. Loosen this up. I'm going to make sure it's all the way flat. What you gauge this by is that little notch right there. That's where the number is supposed to line up for your bevel cut. It is pretty far past the zeros. Let's see where it is in reference to the base plate now. So I'm going to drop this all the way down. I have my angle finder and I have a plate here that has all the angles on it to reference, so I'm just going to see how close this really is. Now I'm going to pull this back. I'm just going to set this on here nice and flat. Make sure I do not reference off one of the carbide tips here. I want it on the blade itself. Get that. Zeros right there, that's where it's at. I don't know if I can get that in here where you guys can see. I gotta get in here. It isn't on zero. It's actually about right there. And I know you can't see this, but this is like 89.5. It's not at a 90. So let's flip this over and see what it reads at 45. Now this will go all the way to 50, so we're going to have to read the 45 and get close and just see. We're going to put it right on the mark. This knob is right in the way of the numbers here. You have to turn it like that to be able to see it. I don't know if you can see that. I have the edge right on the 45 mark. Loosen this up a little bit so it will move. And let's just see how we can do this. Let me get this going a little bit further there. Slide that in, that's right there. 46 isn't quite right on. 45.5. It's about 45 3/4. So it kind of gives you an estimate. You're going to be about a degree off, one way or the other on the mark. It's not going to be perfect, but it's close. Okay, that's about 44.5 on the mark. Let's just see how it changes as far as this goes. Right there. So 44.5 on the bevel gauge there. Let's see what shows here. Oh wow, that's almost dead on 45. I wish you could see that. 44.5 on that shows a dead 45. So at least that gives me a reference point. If I want to do bevel cuts, I know I want to be off a hair. So I probably should mark it about a half a degree prior to the degree I want. Now, the other thing that came with this tool, of course, was the reason why I bought it, the two 5 amp hour batteries with the battery charger. And here they are out of the packaging. Nice heavy duty 5 amp hour battery. And I'm telling you, with something like this, other than a drill and an impact driver, your saws, jigsaws, sawzall type tools, you need a big battery, and you want another one for backup. Definitely take a lot more power to run. So this is the new stuff. I like the new ones right here. Actually have the battery indicator on the battery. You don't have to put in a tool. One of the batteries off my old tools, about 3 or 4 years old. This is the 1 amp hour, I think it is, 1 or 2, whatever. But there is no battery indicator on it anywhere, and there is nothing on the tool. I like the fact that they finally gotten the battery indicators on the battery, so easy to see. I like them on the battery and not on the tool and have to have the battery plugged in. That way I can grab out of my bag and check and make sure if I got one that's low or one that isn't, and grab the one I need. And here's a new charger, and actually this is my old charger from 4 years ago. They have changed. This is much beefier, bigger. Why they decided to completely reverse these, I don't know what difference that made. Other than that, they're actually the same charger. Just switched these around and made it bigger. This battery will fit in the new one, of course, and in my old one. And actually, it's raining hard now. Actually, the old 4-year-old battery will fit in the new one and fits on the tool. So as long as it is this shape, it still fits. The platform has not changed in 4 years, which is nice. So that's basically it on the batteries. Let's put it on the tool and check some things out. To put the battery on, simply just slide it in and it locks in. Real nice. Now on these battery versus my old style didn't, but they were smaller. It's got a little divot like right here. You can put your fingers in and hold it. Push that in. What I do is I kind of push down a little bit, pull it in, and it comes out. A little difficult. I don't like this, but it still works. Now it's fully charged. Then you can't pull it, the trigger to engage the motor. Push it down, then you can pull. Release your trigger, it's locked, you can't pull it again. Now you see how that stopped. This is not a brushless tool, this is brushed. Brushless are much more expensive. If I am using this every single day, depending on the job I'm doing, I would probably lean towards a brushless, but this is going to be used maybe one or two times a week, and sometimes less than that, depending on the jobs I'm doing. So I didn't need to go to the expense of a brushless, because this will definitely handle whatever I need to do for the long term. I don't need brushless right now. But that braking, I did a quick little demo. I'm going to show you right now the difference between how fast this stops versus my old skill saw, that when you release trigger it still rotates a little bit before it stops. This one is almost immediate. I'll do it again. See right here so you can do it. Boom, stop. Nice. Check out the comparison real quick. Compared to my old school, my workhorse here, immediate stop, it coasts a little before it stops. So I'm just going to do a little comparison from 15-plus-year-old skill saw. This will go up to 10 pounds, and I think this is at 10 or a little over 10, so we'll see what happens. It's over 10 pounds, it's not going to read it. DeWalt, let's sit down here and see what it runs, and it's got the blade, and it has a battery, full charge, 5 amp hour battery on there. I don't know if you can see that, but it says 7 pounds, 9.4 ounces. So you're looking at a good, easy 3 to 4 pounds lighter and no cord. Do you need a circular saw that's battery operated? Here's something to consider. I filmed this a couple days ago when I was working on my house. You see, when I'm cutting, I have to stop, flip the cord around. I finish making my cut. Because it has a cord, I'm continually moving the cord around. I have to hold on to the cord. I have to keep it out of my way, finish my cut. It's just somewhat of a pain. This, and you see here, I do a cut, don't have to worry about nothing. There's no cord, just go right along on my merry way, do my business, and I have nothing to interfere with. That's why I decided to buy this. With the backup of the 5 amp hour batteries, this should be an all-day tool, no worries at all. Last but not least, the bag. No big deal, it's just a bag, but it's nice that it came with it. Now, I will tell you right now, I had to work at it a bit. It takes a little finagling, but you can do it. Now, I don't know if you can see that in there or not. I have the 2 5 amp hour batteries sitting there flat down. As you see, there's the top of them. The battery charger here is sitting to the side. This is sitting in there kind of angled. And I'm telling you, it barely fits. Perfect. No room for air in there. That's the way I got these all to sit in there. There you have it. So that's it. This is why I bought it. A much better deal. 5 amp hour batteries plus the bag and charger without buying extra. For $7 more, I couldn't beat this deal. Thank you so much. Be blessed. Take back your shack. For your sanity. Let's go cutting. See you next video. Ring ding ding. Ooh, itchy. The blade goes in a clockwise. So thank you so much. Thank you so much.